Step into your backyard. Feel the soil under your shoes. Hear the soft grind of grit. Smell damp earth and decaying leaves. This ground looks harmless. It feels natural. It looks clean enough. Yet measured by bacteria load, it often holds more contamination than a household toilet seat. Toilets get scrubbed, backyards get ignored. Dirt hides danger because it looks familiar and still. Toilets frighten people. They signal waste. They get disinfected with force. Backyards signal rest, grass, air, space. That perception lowers caution. Animal droppings dry into dust. Rodents pass at night. Birds roost overhead. Insects die and decay. Rain spreads contamination outward in thin, invisible sheets. Nothing looks wrong, you know. That false calm is the problem. Human waste in history stayed close to living space. Medieval homes dumped refuse behind the house. Colonial yards held ash pits and privies. Waste soaked into soil. Pathogens survived for weeks. Cholera, typhoid, dysentery. Folks just didn't link illness to the ground they walked on. The backyard became a quiet carrier of disease long before germ theory existed. So, soil acts like a sponge. It traps moisture, and, well, it holds organic matter too. Bacteria really thrive in that dark, damp space. E. coli, Salmonella, Campylobacter, parasite eggs. They bind to particles and just, wait. A dry season does not kill them. Rain wakes them up, splash carries them to shoes, toys, and hands. The transfer happens without smell or warning. Toilet surfaces get cleaned with bleach. Backyards rarely see disinfectant. Studies show grass and soil near homes often test higher for fecal bacteria than toilet seats. The reason is simple. Toilets face regular assault. Yards accumulate slowly. Each small deposit adds up. Time becomes the amplifier. Animals are the main contributors, Dogs mark their territory. Cats, well, they bury their waste. Rats, they travel along fence lines. Raccoons, they use lawns as latrines. And birds, they drop waste from above. Each species carries its own pathogens, that's for sure. None of them announce themselves. Sunlight, it breaks down some bacteria. But shade, well, it protects them. Children, they interact first. Their knees hit the grass. Hands dig into the soil. Toys get dropped, then sucked or chewed. You hear laughter and you see green stains on their jeans. You just don't see parasite eggs under fingernails. Historically, pediatric infection rates have always gone up in the warmer seasons for this exact reason. The yard, well, it kind of turned into a classroom for microbes. Foot traffic, it spreads the load, Shoes grind the soil down into a real fine powder. That powder, it finds its way indoors. Carpets, they trap it. Floors, well, they just hold on to it. You hear the soft brush of shoes at the door. That sound marks transfer. Kitchens become the next stop. Cutting boards, table edges, the backyard walks inside without permission. Rain changes everything. Water hits soil and splashes upward. Microscopic droplets carry bacteria onto leaves, furniture, and walls. Runoff pools in low spots. That stagnant water, well, it breeds more organisms. After storms, contamination spreads wider, not deeper. The yard becomes a shallow, contaminated field. History offers blunt lessons. Roman cities used latrines and drains but still suffered outbreaks because waste flowed through open spaces. Victorian reformers learned that soil pollution caused sickness. They paved yards and courtyards to stop seepage. Clean ground became a public health tool, not just an aesthetic choice. Modern lawns, well, they hide the same risk. Thick grass shades the soil. Sprinklers add moisture. Fertilizer feeds microbes. Compost piles heat up, but the edges, they stay cool and active. Garden beds invite handling. The smell of fresh soil signals life, but also load. Touch always transfers something back. Cleaning habits, well, they mostly stop at the door. Hands get washed after using the toilet, but rarely after gardening. And gloves, they tend to get reused. Hoses, they splash around instead of actually sanitizing. Rakes just scrape droppings right into the soil. Every action spreads contamination, thin enough that folks ignore it, but wide enough that it really matters. Survival manuals, they always stress water and shelter, but, ground hygiene often gets skipped. Camps that fail to manage waste fall sick fast. And the same principle applies at home. Distance between waste and living space matters. Barriers matter too. Routine disruption of soil contamination matters. Simple actions really do reduce risk. Setting up designated pet areas, making sure to regularly remove droppings, and having hard surfaces near doors can all make a big difference. After doing yard work, it's important to wash your hands, and taking your shoes off indoors is a good habit too. These steps actually mirror some old historical sanitation fixes. They work because they break the chains of transfer, not because they try to sterilize nature itself. Now, take another look at your yard. Notice where the shade keeps things damp, and pay attention to any animal paths winding through. Listen for insects rustling in the leaf litter, and after a rain, see if you can spot those runoff lines. These little details, they really tell a story. That awareness changes behavior. Clean does not mean sterile, it means managed. Treat the backyard like any other surface that touches your life. Respect it, control it, do not fear it. Share this insight. Subscribe to Life and Legacy. Pass it on to someone who still thinks dirt equals harmless.